Hi everyone, Mrs. Geist here. We are on video number 2 and we're gonna review really fast what we did on video number 1, and then I'm hoping that you watch the videos over and over because I talk fast, and in class I talk fast too, but that's what the videos are for. And we want to really study this video because it's gonna start you off on a really good foot. If we get in bad habits, they're hard to break. So please take this part seriously, okay? So we're gonna open the case like we learned on the last video. Make sure the emblem is on the top, and most of the time, 95% of the time, the latches go down. Remember, we also talked about having an appropriate name tag, some kind of luggage tag. Not a piece of tape, it's gonna fall off. Not a string with a piece of paper, that's gonna rip. All right, so we've already had somebody lose a saxophone, and then I don't know if he had his name on it or not, so hopefully. So we wanna make sure that we take care of our instruments and have our name on them, okay? So I can give them back to you if they're lost. All right, so I'm gonna open my case on the floor, right? And I've got my mouthpiece cap ready to go here, my reeds there. Most of you had mouthpiece caps, so I'm very proud of you. Hopefully the rental company gave you one. If not, please get one. It will save your reeds. By the time mouthpiece caps are like $2. So that's the cost of a reed. So it'd be nicer just to have a cap so you save your reed and not have to buy a new one all the time. So mouthpiece cap, make sure you have one and you use it. The other day I saw some kids just throw their reed right in there without a cap. Well, that's gonna break and chip and crack the reed and you can't play, all right? Then we talked about having enough reeds in your case. You should have a couple reeds, like 4 in your case. We talked about maybe having a whole box because that's cheaper. If you buy the whole box, you'll save some money. All right, so we got our mouthpiece cap. I took it off. We have our ligature. I'm taking my ligature off. Most of you, it fit pretty well. A couple of kids, they gave you the wrong ligature, so you're gonna have to make sure that you find one that fits. Just head to the music store or buy them on Amazon, all right? Just called an alto sax ligature. So I'm taking my reed off. I'm wetting it. Taking my ligature off. And then I put my reed back on. Remember from the last video, you set it on there straight, not too low, not too high. We want it right in the middle. Then I take my ligature. This is where a bunch of us got confused in class this week. We take the ligature and we make sure it's unscrewed. Okay, not all the way or the screws will fall off, but loose enough where you can push it down and it goes underneath that line. Most people have a line on their mouthpiece. If not, no big deal. Just make sure it's low enough on the mouthpiece. Then you tighten that baby down, right? Tighten it down, ready to go. Now you're gonna set this gently on the floor because I'm gonna show you next. We talked about it in class this week. You have your neck. And I'm very proud of you guys. A lot of you did what I asked and got a sock and you put your neck in the sock. Very good. Some of you still have to do that. I'm sure your family has a sock laying around the house. So I take off my neck and I take out my cork grease. We did this in class. So if you missed class, then you're gonna have to really watch this step. Cork grease, it is not chapstick. Do not go out and put chapstick on this, okay? Cork grease is very inexpensive. It'll last you a long time. And all of our rental instruments have brand new corks on them. So even mine, I just got mine corked right now. So I'm gonna put cork grease on here. Not too much, then your whole entire saxophone becomes greasy. So you put that on there just enough where it's moist, okay? And then put it back. Now you're lucky, you only have 1 cork. Those poor clarinet players have a bunch of corks, all right? So now, here's the hard part. Remember, you're supposed to have a neck plug. Please grab a neck plug, okay? They're at every music store. They'll probably give it to you for free, hopefully. But you should have one because later on, if you don't, your neck will not go in. And then I have to stop class and fix it for you. And sometimes I can't fix it. So this plug is very important. So this piece does not bend when it's in your case. So please have a neck plug. All right, now you're going to unscrew the screw, not all the way. Some of you will have a screw on this side too. Make sure this instrument's different. I have it down here, but make sure that this screw on this side stays tight all the time. But the one on your right is going to be loosened up. Now I take my neck gently and I put the neck on. I am not gonna force it on so it bends that very delicate metal right there. Also, I'm not going to force it on so it doesn't mess up my octave key. That's called an octave key. We'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, so I'm gonna put that on gently, twist it like I'm doing. Please don't put cork grease on here. It's not cork. Please don't oil it. When it gets stuck, I will show you in my next video how to keep your instrument clean and take care of it. But right now, you don't need to know that. So gently put it in. And then you're going to, this is the hardest part about the saxophone, is lining things up to your body shape, okay? And holding the instrument the right way. It's the most difficult instrument to hold correctly and not look like you're all discombobulated, okay? Big word. So you're going to, for now, line up the neck with the body, just for now. Then you tighten this down, not too tight, but tight enough where it's got some stiffness there. Okay, now I'm gonna put on my mouthpiece. Again, we talked about it in class. You can hear this, it's still a little dry. What happens when we don't cork grease our instrument? Oh, I forgot to tell the clarinets that in their video, whoops. What happens when we don't cork grease it? The cork breaks, it gets brittle, and it falls off. And now you don't have your saxophone for 2 weeks, and it costs like $12. So we want to make sure that we keep it greased, okay? I totally forgot to say that on the clarinet one. All right, so I'm going to put it on. You don't need to put it on very far, and please don't push it all the way in. We had some people do that in class the other day, okay? Good listeners, please. All right, so we go halfway in, and now we're ready for the hard part. You're going to put this down gently. Make sure you don't crack the reed on the floor, okay? It doesn't matter how you put it down. Some professionals put it down that way, or if I put it this way, you got to be careful not to put that reed on the floor because it's going to break. So I bent my neck up a little bit. Either way, it's not going to hurt your saxophone. Now, your saxophone came with a neck strap, and the neck straps are kind of a pain because some of them don't move up easily. So some of them are very difficult, and you'll have to have your parents help you out until you get used to that. In class, I have already helped a couple people. It does take some time and practice. So I'm going to try to raise mine a little bit. I'm going to pick up my saxophone right now. And this is the time where we want to sit in our chair. And you can also stand up if you want. I'm going to go ahead and stand because that way in class, that's what we normally do. So I'm going to stand up. And you want to be careful when you hold the saxophone because if I grab it around there, it's going to bend all my keys. So the best place to grab it is around the bell somewhere, okay? We don't want to grab it where there's keys and start bending up the keys. So taking it, I'm going to put my neck strap on, okay? And it kind of, I want the saxophone to dangle, all right? Don't trust it though. Don't go like this. Hey mom, no hands, right? Because that neck strap is just a piece of plastic and it could break. I've seen it happen. It's pretty scary when the saxophone falls that far. Very expensive to fix and repair. So you're gonna put your neck strap on. Do not do this. Do not walk around and grab your stuff while it's dangling from the neck strap. Do not trust the neck strap. Okay, always have a hand on your instrument. Now, you've got that neck strap in there. You're gonna let it dangle. You're going to stand up as tall as humanly possible. All right, same when we sit down. We want to sit on the edge with our body straight. That will be the next video. But right now you're gonna have it dangled. And we talked about it in class. Your head's gonna be up tall when you play an instrument. We don't play an instrument like this. And then it crunches our air stream right there. It crunches our esophagus. All right, and plus we look silly when we go like that. So we have to have our head up tall. If you look at this, uh-oh, there's a problem with that. My neck strap is not high enough. So I know we're excited to play, and most of you will do this. I dropped my neck and I have bad posture now. That's not what we want. We want to bring this neck strap up so the mouthpiece goes directly in my mouth. Now, if we don't have the mouthpiece set, we're gonna have our head turned. We don't want that, that's uncomfortable. So we make sure that our mouthpiece is straight. It goes right into our mouth, okay? And again, the saxophone's dangled on the side. Our thumb goes right here under the thumb rest, very important. Our other thumb goes right up here. Some of you have a pearl, some of you have a black plastic piece there. I don't have one, that's okay. Your thumb goes right there. So 2 thumbs, then you've got your balance points. Then your other balance point is your hip, because it dangles down there. There's even a hip guard right there. So you guys have a lot of balance points. Now again, I'm sitting up tall, and I'm bringing the saxophone up to me. Now don't start pushing some notes here, all right? You'll have some funny sounds. So what you can do to start out with is hold it by the neck. Have some fun doing that. I forgot to tell you, we need to review the mouthpiece first. You should try and see if you can match my sound. Remember, we don't take too much mouthpiece in our mouth. We don't take too little. We just take just a medium amount. Not so we squeak, and not too little where we pinch off the sound. After you do that, you're supposed to do long tones with your mouthpiece and your neck. Thank you, son. My son is videotaping for me. He's very patient right now. So now we're going to take your neck and your mouthpiece, only halfway in, remember, and mine still needs cork grease. I cork greased it twice already and it's still dry. That means yours is too, okay? And again, I shouldn't be trusting my saxophone neck strap right now. I'm holding it. So you want to practice holding that baby out for at least 2 minutes. Take a breath whenever you need, but make it sound like mine. No puffy cheeks, bottom lip under, top lip right there, okay? Or top teeth, and then your lip just relaxes. So you're gonna put this back on again. I loosened up the screw. Now I'm tightening it back up, letting it balance here, and then I'm just making a sound. Now I'm gonna show you your first note. Your first note is you're gonna put your thumb down here, and then you're gonna put your finger on one key down. Some of you will have a pearl, some of you will have like a little fork key, like that silver, but you want to put it on that one right there. Your book will have it in there. Your book will say exactly what notes you should play, okay? So here's what this is going to sound like. And if you saw, I twisted my mouthpiece so my head is straight. That note out for a long time. Now, there's another thing I forgot to show you. If my neck is turned a different way, you're gonna have a crooked body, okay? So again, the saxophone contorts in a lot of different ways. You have to move it towards your body shape, where your head is straight, your neck is straight, your body's tall, and the saxophone comes to you. You don't move to the saxophone, okay? You're the boss, not the saxophone. That's gonna be note number 3. I call that note number 3 or a B. I'm gonna give you 2 more notes real fast. So we have that note number 3. We skip the baby one and we put your finger right there. That's gonna be note number 2. Down. Now another thing that saxophones do, because we have tiny fingers as 5th and 6th graders, we accidentally bump these keys. These keys we bump and then it opens up the key and then we don't sound very good. We sound like a squeaker. So we make sure that our hand is up and not touching, not bumping any of those keys. Okay, we don't want any of those 3 keys to be opened up. Now also little fingers will want to bump these because they want to balance it. We don't want to bump those yet. Those aren't keys we use. Okay, so be very careful when you do that. So now I have my first finger down, I skip a note, or I skip a key, bam, we go there. And now we're gonna add our next finger. I call that note number 1, or G. So you're gonna start on note number 3, which is just your first finger, B. Add the next finger down, but remember you're gonna skip that baby one. You're gonna skip that baby key. Note number 2, which is an A. Now note number 1 is a G. You're gonna put all 3 down. I call this 1, 2, 3. All right. So if you practice all that stuff, that is a lot to do. If you can master all that in a week, I'll be very, very proud of you, okay? Remember not to bump these sides. Remember to lift the neck strap up to your height and have fun, all right? I'll see you soon.